I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig, and Callie and I are spending a couple weeks on our motorcycles in Mexico. We've brought with us the MSR Dragonfly Stove. Now, I've used a lot of stoves in the past. This one has been one of my favorites so far for a couple main reasons. One, I like how big of a base this stove provides. So you can see with the legs folded out, it has quite a large base to sit on. So if you're in the sand or in the snow and the ground's a little bit soft, the stove's not just going to want to sink to one side. Also, what that provides, if you're cooking for a lot of people, or maybe you have larger pots, this is a pot from the Quick 2 system, provides a really large base for the pot to also sit on, which is really nice. You're not losing your food in the middle of cooking, which we've all done, or at least I've done plenty of times while out camping. Always a bummer when you're really hungry. Another thing I really like about this stove are the multitude of fuels that you can use with it. So not only does it burn white gas, but you can burn kerosene, auto fuel, jet fuel, diesel, naphtha. If you're out camping in really remote areas where you can't bring in a lot of fuel at once and you need to find other fuels to burn, this is definitely the stove for you. Now with it, you're gonna get the stove along with the pump. It doesn't come with the MSR Fuel Bottle. That'll need to be purchased separately, as well as the stuff sack. And then inside the stuff sack, it has a windscreen as well as a heat reflector. And then what I really like about this is it's field maintainable. So if you clog a jet or anything like that because you're burning different fuels, they include with it a nice kit to take the stove apart so you're able to get in and clean it. Now, here at sea level, burning white gas, about 8 cups of water, I find that it takes roughly 5 minutes to come to a boil with the lid on this particular pot here. So the boil times are pretty quick in my mind. If you're up in the mountains, obviously it's going to be a little bit longer to bring to a boil. You can also dial in a really precise flame with this stove. You have both a gas flow regulator on the pump as well as a flame control on the stove. So if you're a gourmet cook and you're needing to do more than just boil water for soup, this is definitely a nice stove to have where you can really regulate all of that. Now, if you're taking just your stove and the pump with you, you're coming in at 14 ounces, so it's relatively lightweight, not the lightest one out there, but I don't think it's too terribly heavy. It disconnects from the fuel pump rather easily, and then the legs all fold in nicely for travel. And this just flips over, legs fold up, this folds down to the side as well as that, and you're ready to throw it into your stuff sack. Now with the fuel pump, it simply just screws on to the end of the fuel bottle. I like to just personally leave it right on my fuel bottle like this and travel with it so I'm not always pulling it on and off. One thing that I've noticed is that this does have a poppet valve in it, so it's supposed to prevent any fluid from coming back out when you disconnect it. I sometimes do get some drips out of there. It's not the end of the world for me, but other than that, it does hold all the fluid in there, so you're not leaking it everywhere. Stove I've been really happy with, and I recommend to anyone that's looking for a new stove out there. It's been in the MSR line for a really long time. It's a proven stove for them. And it is for a reason. It's just a really great stove. If you guys have any questions or comments, please be sure to leave them below and we'll get back to you. I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig.